Hey guys, this is John.
And Austin.
And this is another episode of the Meatgistics podcast brought to you by Waltons. We're going to try something a little bit different here for the foreseeable future. We're going to try splitting up the podcast more into segments. We'll still keep the meat matters, and that will be the bulk of the second half of the podcast. But the first half, we have a couple new segments that we're going to try and figure out here. Some of it's just kind of stuff we already do. We're just giving it a name, trying to make it easier to clip it up and put it on social media. But it's been a while since we've tried changing the format of the podcast. We used to do it all the time, just constantly changing things. But
it would be, well, what beer are we drinking today?
Well, beer was a big part of the podcast to begin with. But then once we stopped doing that, we're like, all right, well, let's try this. Well, let's try this. Let's try this. And none of them ever caught on.
We got so absorbed into Meat Matters, and because there was when we started doing that mainly, there was so much news, and it was news that we really just couldn't ignore.
Yeah.
And you and I both have strong opinions about a lot of it. So
not me.
Yeah.
I'm very easygoing. All right. So the big news, though, I would consider at least, is that Austin and I have determined what our bet is going to be.
It's not good.
For who wins. If Notre Dame ranks higher, I win in the final CFP. If Kansas State ranks higher, he wins. And we were coming up with bets yesterday, and the one we kind of liked the best was no shaving for a month and no eating of one of your favorite foods, right? So you couldn't shave your face or your head for a month. I wouldn't be able to eat a KC strip or a ribeye. Austin wouldn't be able to eat any pizza.
Wait, does that mean you're going to go like porterhouse or something? Like you're just going to have a different cut?
Yeah, I mean, that's what I would have done.
No,
for sure.
No, you can't have steak.
No, well, we said minute steak or cube steak. That's what I would have done.
Oh, so real tough steak.
Just the super thinly sliced,
okay.
like something I could
the stuff my mom can't cook correctly. Yeah,
exactly. I would have still needed to eat some beef for protein, but yeah, that's where we're going with. But then at the very end, Austin said, maybe we're going at this the wrong way. He's like, what about a toupee?
I was like, what does a toupee cost?
So I started looking up toupees.
So you haven't told Patrick this, obviously.
No, he wanted me to react in real time. Oh my God. Wait, that's so genius.
So the deal is going to be
2.5 days. Is that what we agreed?
No, we agreed 3 days. But if your third day is on a Friday, it just ends at the end of the day, Friday.
Oh, I think it needs to be Wednesday, Thursday, Friday then, because it needs to be a podcast day.
Sure. No matter what, it's going through Wednesday. So if you start on Monday, you have Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday. If you start Wednesday, you have Wednesday, Thursday, Friday.
How realistic are you going for the toupee?
The other one gets to choose.
Oh, so it's a wig essentially.
And then
you want it to I don't know. I think the move is making it look like John's trying to wear a real toupee would be more hilarious than him.
I'm going the opposite with you.
What is he doing? Is he going to look like
he's going to get a bowl cut?
Oh,
it has to be it can be a goofy haircut,
sure, but
it better be something legit.
It won't be like the bowl cut they have in
bangs,
Harry and Lloyd.
Why not?
But it'll be a bowl cut.
Okay, as long as it's still a legit haircut.
He's going to have to take meetings.
No, that's you can't give him a pink.
Right, yeah, nothing like that.
What do you mean? Yeah.
I'm not going to give him an orange mohawk or anything like that.
That could be.
You have to wear it. You have to not acknowledge it with anyone you meet, and you have to wear it out in public as well. I will go to the grocery store if I lose and take pictures of me at the grocery store with it on.
So I have an addition to this on. If we did it Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, Wednesday or Thursday before it's off on Friday, we need to go out to dinner or lunch or something together so the other can enjoy the other's misery in public.
Okay. Okay, that's fair. So, all right. So we'll make it Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. And do you have anything Thursdays for lunch? All right. So we'll go out for lunch on Thursday and then we'll take pictures.
What's a funnier candid photo? Someone going, hey, this guy at Walmart has pink hair, or oh, look how atrocious this guy's toupee is.
I think it's the atrocious
right
toupee.
That's what I mean, but gosh, it'd almost be hard to find, right?
It used to not be.
Well, in the
people used to wear terrible toupees all the time.
That is a good point.
Now I feel like they're so advanced, you might not even tell.
You had to ignore it.
Austin started saying yesterday, he's like, I don't think you hate this. He's like, I kind of think this is going to be a soft opening for you.
Exactly.
He's test driving.
Right.
That's what I was saying.
See if I can get some hair back.
I like it.
Yeah, no, it was a great idea. As soon as you brought it up, I'm like, that is what we're doing.
That's
100%.
the way to go. Yeah.
Neither of us really like it, but we're excited about it because it's going to be miserable.
Yes.
And so it fits.
And you can't, like, I'm very excited for like when Flip walks into your office and will he say anything? Because you can't go, this is a bet that I lost. You just have to lay it straight. Like,
There's most people here listen to the podcast or it gets around like it's going to be
all right,
known.
if you listen to the podcast, do not tell anybody who doesn't listen to the podcast about this bet, so that the loser has to suffer through I don't even know, the shame of people thinking that you're wearing a toupee.
Maybe we can have Steph send out a new employee email and be like, here's Juan Trim, our new
Juan
employee.
Trim. Oh yes.
Makes a return.
My gnome de
Oh,
plume.
that's a good one. Yeah.
Anytime I need a fake name, it's always Juan Trim. It's better than Ron Mexico. If anyone remembers that.
I forget. I had a fake name. Remember, we had to create a fake name to get access to something.
Yes.
Yeah. I don't remember what my
I
fake
don't know
name
your
is
name
now.
is
I
either.
was all excited
You
because
were. You could probably find it. You got to have the login information for it somewhere. You know what it is.
I have the
you know
login
what it
stored in
is. Yeah.
Zoho. So
Do you remember Ron Mexico, Patrick?
Mm-mm.
Oh, that was Michael Vick's
Oh, was it?
fake name. Ron Mexico.
What a ridiculous.
Back when he was getting in all that trouble.
oh my gosh.
Okay, so that is our bet. Comment section is closed on that. That is what we were doing. I'm very excited to see you in
You're not going to see me in it.
I mean, we looked through our schedules yesterday and we think this is fair. We both very reasonably have 1 to 2 more losses. So it's not like one of us has a cake schedule from here on out.
I think I have a higher ceiling than you, but I have a much lower floor than you.
No, if we beat USC and win out, we're...
Well, but you're not going to. You're not.
We'll see.
I'm just assuming you're not.
We'll see.
Couple good losses, but whatever.
All right, and then Patrick and I were talking about I don't think it was on the podcast, but it was whether or not I can still run a sub 5 flat 40. I think I can.
You got it.
I think I can.
Tom, didn't we do the Tom Brady, like what he ran? It was
517 was his, so I'd have to beat Tom Brady.
And that's when he was like as fast as he was going to get, right?
Right.
Well, maybe.
He might have gotten him better.
Yeah.
If you ever saw Tom Brady in college without his shirt off, he'd look like an anti-athlete.
I'd be terrified.
No muscle tone.
Imagine that guy running at you. I go, oh, God, get away from me. What's he doing?
Now, though.
This guy's nuts.
So I don't know if you're open to a second bet, but do you think you could run a 40 faster than I can?
Oh, right now, no. I'm
Given 6 months, do you
fat
think
and slow
you
and
could?
out of shape. I don't know.
You wouldn't put up the effort for it anyways. Even if we gave you 6 months, you wouldn't do the training.
No, I probably wouldn't.
Okay. So I will
But
just...
you're a natural. You used to run all the time.
Oh,
right?
yeah.
See,
If I was in like half shape, I would take that bet
Consider
and
it,
you'd be screwed. But
Even at your skinniest, though, you were a long distance runner.
I think
I'm a
still
sprinter.
still fast.
What if you did the average of like 3 of like? Is there a way to like
No.
do a catch?
I just have to beat
with
it
this?
one time.
That's it.
That's it. So if I pull something,
Well, what if?
What happens when you tear an
likely
ACL?
is
What
gonna
if like?
happen.
What if like he gets to take like a half second off?
No,
Okay, so you're not too confident.
no,
then.
I wouldn't give him. There's no
A half second.
handicapping.
I'd
this.
take
Well,
that
that's
bet
like-
for a half second.
with cars they give links, right?
Yeah. Well, first of all, a half second's a long time, and when we're talking about 8 or 5 seconds, so yeah, that's a long time.
Come on,
That's a long time.
you guys aren't those athletes though, so it's not as bang bang as we're thinking here.
Yeah, that's too close.
I saw the
for me.
Barstool guys run 40-yard
Yeah.
dashes. It is the funniest video you'll ever see.
It is good.
It's right when he goes, smoked them, and it's like 6.5 second. Like he goes, that was moving. He goes, I think I pulled something.
I think you showed me that. The Barstool guys doing that, or maybe it was you.
Maybe
It
it
was
was
probably
like
one of you, but-
early me here, probably.
I laughed really hard at it. All right. Then we've got one of the dry cured batches. We've got a new one going in. On this one, we're going to use Bactofirm Mold 600. I'm going to use Gigawatt as the seasoning. So I have the Bactofirm going right now. You have to let it sit for at least 12 hours in a little bit of warm water, and then you mix it in with a bunch of water. So I did that water already so that it can gas out. Tomorrow I'm going to mix that in with that, and then I will dip I'm going to use it as a dip instead of a spray. It said that that's like a better way to do it. So we will see how that all goes. And then it's going to go in the medium-sized one.
Did we trash what was in there?
No.
Is it done?
Yeah, I thermal processed it and to get it safe.
Oh.
And then froze it. So
cool.
We're just having problems with one of the dry curing cabinets. So we're doing a different test, and we wanted to get to that right away instead of continuing to wait on that one. So we took the sausage out of there, put it in our smoker, cooked it up to like 140 for 7 minutes or whatever it was. It went over that because not me, somebody else miscalculated. But yeah, so we're ready for our next batch to go in on that.
Who came up with back dough firm 2000? Is that what it's called?
600.
600 back dough firm 600.
Does 600 pounds?
I mean, it just sounds very 1980s looking forward name. You know, it's like,
what's the manufacturer's name?
CHR
Hansen, something like that. Yeah.
So
who knows?
Yeah, I'm not sure where that name came from. But then for our next live stream, we now have pick a winner 30 minutes, an hour, and the whole thing. That's now all working. So that'll be fun. Live stream giveaways will be easier from here on out. Our novelty meat thermometer, which is what I will now be officially calling it every time I see it. The 12-inch probe is here on the 17th of next month.
That's too long. It's a month away.
Just over a month away. You can wait for a month away. You have a sample one to play with if you need to. It's on the side of the fridge.
I might just take it home.
He gets mad at us for bumping the mic.
This is true.
For leaving on.
Did you hear the rattle
right?
You made? Like,
you just made way more noise than we ever did.
I know as soon as the rattle, but I don't get credit for opening it quietly. But who put the stuff on top of the fridge?
It doesn't matter. You got to close that door softly. Why are the tumblers
touching?
You got to close that door softly.
Oh my God.
All right. And then we are starting monthly or so emails on processing. First one's going to go out Friday. So if you are wanting to be on that, it'll be more Meatgistics themed instead of Walton's themed. Sign up for our newsletter at waltons.com. That'll get you on the list and you will get those emails.
And you get discounts on the seasonings and stuff that's used in the how-tos.
That is correct. How we're thinking about doing it is the category. So if we did one on like jerky, you would get X% off for jerky seasonings that weekend. So we'll keep you updated on that, obviously. All right. So one of the segments that we wanted to kind of get into was the we wanted to highlight some Meatgistics stuff. So we have 2 ideas for segments there. We're only using one today. But one of them we're just calling What Did Everyone Cook Today? And that's obviously after the most successful thread we have on Meatgistics that was opened by Tex. Before we compliment him, or since we've already complimented him, do we want to throw him under the bus?
I don't know. Because I know what he did, but he didn't out himself. And so it's one of those things where I'm like, maybe we should just like tease it, and anyone listening should go pound Tex until he caves. And
Tex sent us a very funny picture. It's something that I've done before. I did it. I found it before that stage, but I've done that too. So
he like sent it and like asked us to guess what happened. Like I wasn't gonna guess.
I knew,
dude, that's.
I was with my family, but I looked at it. I was like, come on now, whatever. We all know what that is.
It was funny. It was funny.
Yeah. Ask Tex about that. Anyways, that thread is the most successful or most visited thread that we have on Meatgistics. So Austin and I thought it'd be cool if we went through every episode or so and just review a few of the things that have recently been posted there. And critique is probably the wrong word. Critique is coming at it from a
critique can be good and bad.
Okay. All right. So Deep Woods Butcher and John Belvedere both made some awesome looking bread. I believe they're both sourdough. I know John Belvedere's is. I'm not 100% sure on Deep Woods Butcher's. John Belvedere also used it to make a delicious looking sandwich that made me really hungry first thing in the morning. And I hate that.
Not even seeing like the full thread, and I'm sitting over here salivating just because I am on such my wife has me on such a heavy sourdough bread kick. We still do sourdough frequently, and she doesn't just make a loaf of sourdough though. Like last night it was, or night before. I don't know. Last night or night before, it was sourdough chocolate chip cookies.
Yeah.
The best cookies I've ever had.
Those sound disgusting until I remember how unbelievably good that pancake was. It's the only pancake that I ever enjoyed eating without butter or syrup. Like, it did not need butter or syrup. It tasted amazing on its own.
If it's a bread product, you can make it with sourdough and it will be better.
Like crazy.
So my brother Dylan, he does not like sheet cake. Doesn't like it at all. He was over a couple weeks ago and was like, "Hey, yeah, we had we had a few other people as well. We had numerous us all there, and was like, "Hey, we got chocolate sheet cake for dessert." And Dylan's like, "Oh, I don't like sheet cake," and like, whatever, get it out. He tries some. He's like, "This is the best thing ever." But we made chocolate sourdough sheet cake.
Wow.
And it's I don't know how my wife does it. She does a lot of reading and turns, like, I don't know, takes a recipe and like turns it into sourdough friendly.
I've never heard of sourdough cake.
It adds a little, just some things actually adds sourness to it. Some things you don't notice as much. The cookies yesterday, heavy on the sour, and that just I keep hitting the mic.
It was amazing.
But it knocked it out of the park. It's amazing.
Do you have any more of them?
I mean, rude. What a
Right?
rude question. My
Right?
God.
I had the best cookies in the world. Good luck, guys.
Okay, so we still need to have a planned sourdough episode.
Sure.
And I need to, I don't know.
Bring her in
Things
here.
been
And
kinda-
just
Things been kind of crazy lately, but we need to pick a few things because you can't do like 10.
bread, pancakes. Now I want cake and cookies. Those are 4 things I want. Unless I don't want chocolate because I don't like chocolate.
What?
I don't like chocolate.
What? Oh, he's one of those dudes. Is
Snickers,
this like, we'll compare it to mashed
milk
potatoes.
chocolate. Both those things are like fine, but chocolate flavored ice cream or cake, I would just won't eat it because it's not worth the calories to me.
No.
Yeah.
What?
All right. This is totally off
Do you
topic.
think white cake is better for you or something?
No.
Like calorie?
No, I just like the taste better.
Oh.
Have you
I'm
tried?
contemplating life right now. I don't know how you go through
imagine-
life without
when you
chocolate.
Wait, so you go to an ice cream place, which you don't do ever, I'm assuming, but then like, what do you get? You go, hey, let me get the.
I mean, it depends on what they have.
So you go to Brahms, you get.
Probably something with like what do they call it? Praline,
What's
like
praline?
something like that. Like
What's that?
Candied pecans.
they're really good.
Oh,
Yeah.
okay.
They're
So
really
some
good.
ice cream with that in.
That's a
Are
that's
you
a high
are you
one
getting
up
like
for
a
me.
single scoop, double dip, or are you getting?
Oh no!
like,
If we're going, let's.
are you getting a
go.
cup, like a sundae
Sure.
or something?
Yeah. If we're eating it, let's eat it. Like I'm not going to have a small serving.
Okay.
One of my favorite ice creams of all time, haven't had it in forever though, is legitimately McDonald's soft serve.
Oh, for sure.
It's amazing.
Well, you
Soft,
can't
dude.
get that anyways half the time.
Is that just a joke or though, or is that serious?
Every time I go about any
serious.
machine, it for years, no matter what time of day it was. I mean, the high school was right by the McDonald's.
Right.
So lunchtime we'd go no, never. And then like they could warm up cookies. You know, they're putting stuff in microwaves and stuff, but they can't get the ice cream machine right ever. Even on their frozen Coke machine and stuff like that. Anything that has to work, it doesn't.
I always kind of thought that was just like a meme.
Nah, man.
Yeah.
It was my life.
I don't think it's as bad as everyone makes it out to be,
Right.
but it's a thing.
Okay.
Well, what's the success rate for you? Like, I would go like 25%. They might have it on.
I don't know. I probably eat at McDonald's like once a year.
Sure.
Right, yeah.
I feel like
I
they're
don't.
lying to me, but lifetime. You know what I mean? It's like
I've never had it happen to me, but I haven't asked for a McDonald's ice cream in I don't know how long. Probably before they ever started breaking down. All right, the next one is from Tex. Shows us a summer sausage that he made. Looks really good. Got really nice bright red colors in it. I mean, really, really good color. I'm not exactly sure what his meat block is here, but I'm guessing it had some beef in it to get that red, or he used sodium erythorbate.
I was going to say the other thing, we were making something recently and we put sodium erythorbate in it, and I forgot, and it just kind of re-triggered, and I remembered, relearned, like, you don't just add sodium erythorbate as a cure accelerator.
Mhm.
Like, it actually burns the meat redder.
Yep.
And so it just, I would wonder if he used it or not, but if you want that deeper color, use sodium erythorbate.
Yeah, and just be very careful with it. A very small amount of sodium erythorbate is obviously more than enough to accelerate the cure for a lot of meat. 7/8 of an ounce does 100 pounds of meat. So just be careful with that. LKR Fletcher made some, what he calls elk camp kraut burgers. There's a bunch more to this post. I just took the one picture, but I'm sure they were delicious. I'm really embarrassed because, I mean, LKR Fletcher and I have gone back and forth. I've sent him things. He sends me the best treat not all the time. Almost every year I get smoked candied pecans from him, and they are so good. I have to legitimately hide them from myself and then hope I forget where they are, or I will eat all of them in a single sitting.
I do that with chocolate covered raisins. I know it's not everyone's favorite, and I'm telling someone, you guys something very personal about myself.
Right, I was just about to say you should be embarrassed by that. I wouldn't tell people that.
Yeah, that's hi guys. Hi.
But no, I'm embarrassed that I just now realized that LKR is probably elk Fletcher, and he's an elk hunter.
No, that would make sense.
I'm fairly sure.
Why wouldn't you just put the E in there?
Because that's how people roll.
Yeah.
But like, we have a site that like you could probably get that name.
Oh yeah, you could definitely get that name. But that's people do stuff like that.
Probably something where he got the name because it was the only thing available somewhere
else
at some point in time, and then he reuses that name. Because I do that. I have like the same username that I use on like everything. Because no one ever uses it. I picked it when I was like 10 years old. It was great.
Yeah. What's your name again? What's it like?
Mine's John Trem.
Mr. Crush Destroy. Is that what it is, Austin?
Like Mr. Crush Destroy. No, what is it? He doesn't want to say.
I don't feel like I can say it because I'm not just. It's nothing that bad, but I don't want ridicule right now. I'm not in the mood for ridicule.
What's your most embarrassing gamer tag? You don't have one, right? You would just put like, man, I got a couple, dude. My current one is Feed the Fat Pat. And then I also go by Sir Loco Nasty. All one word.
Sir Loco Nasty is worse.
Oh, it's so funny, dude. People are they're like, ooh, Sir Loco Nasty. I go, si, senor.
I don't even remember what my gamer tags were back in the day.
All right, what's the... Come on.
Another day.
Okay. He's not going to budge on this. He's not going to budge on this. Then John's Brewhouse cooked up an awesome looking brisket. Just absolutely delicious. And did it with just salt and smoked pepper.
Ooh.
Hold on, though. Smoked pepper? That's not really something.
All right.
Did he make it or buy it?
I don't know.
Maybe that's his name on another website.
Smoked
and
pepper?
Then he comes in here.
But it's interesting. The idea of smoked pepper is intriguing to me for sure.
Mm-hmm.
I can see something being like smoky and peppery and good.
Yeah, for sure.
I'm just trying to think if I've ever seen anything like that. The only thing I've ever seen is like smoked salts.
Yeah.
I've never seen smoked pepper. Well,
Sugar.
Unless it's like a legit pepper, but not like black pepper.
Right. I've seen smoked turbinado sugar.
Would you smoke the peppercorns or have it ground up?
I think you want to grind it first.
Right. To
and
incorporate.
Then smoke. I would think.
Who knows?
You'd get more smoke flavor.
You might want to smoke it first, then grind it, just because you might overdo it. Just thinking.
Are you thinking like coffee
back to
beans?
Like our Willow barbecue days.
Ooh,
and
that's a good point. You might not want that much smoke flavor, so keep them whole. Okay.
That's a good point.
I don't know. We could try it.
We could try both.
How hard is it to grow peppercorns? Do you know this?
I didn't even know.
No idea why.
I didn't know they grew.
Oh, my wife was asking me this week, and she's like, Can we grow peppercorns?" I'm like, "I don't know how you do it, but we could grow our own peppercorns and then we could smoke them."
If you guys, I could buy some for you if it's
right. Or
you guys need
we
some.
have a ton of peppercorns in there. We could just use that.
That's
a 5-pound bag broke like 2 years ago, and I've just been using the peppercorns ever since. So 5 pounds of peppercorns, a lot of peppercorns.
Yeah. This will last. Yeah.
You don't use it that much. All right, but so keep posting all your things to the what did everyone cook today thread on Meatgistics, and we will go through and pick out our favorites from like the last week or so and talk about them. All right. Now, segment that we always kind of do, but we're giving it a name, is featured flavor.
You're welcome.
Yeah, Austin came up with that one. Though we're going to argue about one of the other ones.
Which one?
So it's just where we take a seasoning, cook it on something, and talk about it. This is a chicken breast that I actually cooked earlier this week and then froze. Here, go ahead. You're fine with that. Cooked earlier this week and then froze. And this is our Carolina style barbecue marinade. So it's mustard heavy.
It's just the style, dude. It's not from Carolina. It's just the style.
It's delicious. I love that. I could eat that all the time.
So what makes it Carolina? Is it more vinegary or am I incorrect?
Mustard.
Ah.
So we've got raw cane sugar, French's classic yellow mustard, a bunch of other like mustard seed, salt, turmeric, paprika, blah, blah, blah. Maltodextrin, more brown sugar, more spices. I don't know what this one is, but it caught my eye. Have you ever heard of Rochester sauce?
Mm-mm.
I've never heard of Rochester sauce. I used to live in Rochester.
I was going to say, if anyone should know, this shouldn't be you.
Never heard of it.
Is there a more famous Rochester?
Rochester, Minnesota is pretty big too. All right, Rochester sauce is a hot sauce, apparently.
Oh. That's interesting. It's like a thick hot sauce.
It's more akin to Cincinnati chili or hot dog sauce. But where's it from? Yep. Oh, it's a garbage plate. All right.
What is that?
Garbage plate is this thing people always went nuts about in New York. I was not a fan of them. I'm probably going to get some hate from that from anybody living in Rochester. But everybody would always talk about garbage plates. And I'm trying to remember the name of the place that ever... Nick Tahoe's? Yeah, Nick Tahoe's. Everybody would always talk... Yep, there you go. Nick Tahoe. But yeah, no. I've never heard it called Rochester sauce.
This is really good, though. I love stuff that is mustard flavored, mustard based. I don't know why.
Salt and mustard.
Just like mustard. But it fits really well. One of the last ingredients on it is beer. And I feel like you get like a hint of something in there. If it's the hops or something, you can taste little bits of different flavor stuff in it. Also says there's Tabasco. I don't personally taste the Tabasco part of it
At all.
But
no, there's no heat in that.
No. It's a good seasoning though. Is this one like brand new? I don't remember when we got this. It's been like a few months, or is it?
No, probably a year. This is one of the ones they sent in as a sample when they sent us all those samples. Gotcha. So maybe not quite a year. We've made it clear that I have no idea how long ago things were anymore.
We're not really good with time frames.
Are you bad with those two?
Mm-hmm.
Not as bad as I am.
Maybe not as bad as you, but I'm still not good.
So something funny happened. Was that yesterday? Yeah. I had Monday off, so I come in. Austin's walking through the office and says, "I've got a restriction for you. You are not allowed to go in and touch this new hydraulic stuffer." And I'm curious as to what. Somebody else was undoing it and cut themselves on the thing. Well, I had already touched that, undid that thing, and did not cut myself. So
surprising.
I'm getting better.
Yeah.
No, that's what that comes down to.
Speaking of that, though, there is such a thing as medical grade super glue. They sell it at Walgreens. You should get some of that. Yeah.
What's the difference between that and regular super glue? The word medical grade?
It doesn't have toxins in it that are bad for you. Like to be inside your body. Like if you get super glue on the outside, whatever. But have you ever, smell super glue? Does it smell like something you get high off of? It has that like strong chemical, like just smell to it. You're going to, maybe not get high. You're going to kill some brain cells with it. So if you're going to kill some brain cells with it, what are you doing by putting it into your bloodstream, basically?
Mostly good things, I imagine. I don't know. You're increasing your immune system.
It's also like blue purple. So
that seems weird. I don't like that. But they had it at Walgreens?
I don't know. That Antioch said that they do.
Okay. I'm going to go to Walgreens after work, and then I will have to cut myself intentionally to see how this works.
Do you still use the like liquid bandage stuff I gave you?
No, it's gone.
Is it gone?
Like for a long time ago. The worst, I tried Gorilla Glue, Crazy Glue. That didn't work at all. It's just the blood just kept coming up underneath it, and it wouldn't like dry. So that was useless. Can't remember which one that was. That was something. That was something. All right.
Oh my gosh.
Let's move on to Meat Matters. All right. First segment is, did you know that there was a wild game donation month?
A month? Not really. Did I know that there are like kind of like donation
Programs.
drives
Sure.
and programs.
Right.
Yes.
All right.
But
Don't click on that link yet.
it's frozen. I can't
All
click
right,
on it.
where do you think those programs are?
Oh, I would bet like the north as you're kind of getting to the northeast, but north central, what most people probably call the Midwest,
Okay.
like
upper Midwest?
Ohio, Pennsylvania.
Here are the states with the program where you can donate your wild meat. New Hampshire, Vermont, Massachusetts, Rhode Island, New York City, rats, Connecticut, New Jersey, Delaware, Maryland, DC, Hawaii, Guam, and Puerto Rico.
Interesting, because I want to know, does anyone go deer hunting in Rhode Island?
Like, oh, okay. So this is just specifically for that. I'll take that back. I was going to say, because I'm almost positive I've read about Alabama, like donating. So maybe there is more. It's just this specific program that only those states are in.
Okay.
Yeah, because Kansas says Kansas hunters feeding the hungry.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
Yeah.
So I take that back. Sorry for the misinformation. Fact checked in real time by myself. I'm going to continue eating this.
Go for it.
Absolutely delicious.
I'm eating it. I know that I'm eating dinner at like not early, but like at a set time today, so I can't eat too much, or I will not want to eat later.
But game must be legally harvested. Obviously, all game must be field dressed. And then each state has different rules and regulations. So check with your state before you do anything. But the NRA is pushing this as November as the donation month. I have a question, though. If you're going hunting and you're going to donate the food, isn't it just that you want to kill something?
Partially.
How do you feel about that?
To be honest, I'd be okay with it, because to be honest, I'd probably put myself in a crowd of like more likely to donate it, because I don't want it to go to waste, but it'd be good. I would eat it, but on one hand, I'm like, well, if I could donate it, it could be helpful to somebody else, especially like I just ordered like half a beef. Mm-hmm. I'm not going to need, like, I don't need venison or other wild game, big game stuff. I have a lot of meat coming to my freezer here.
So you're looking at it more as a donation than a bother. You're looking at it as like, oh, I could do this nice thing for somebody else, instead of looking at it like, this is a burden I don't want to do. I will give it to somebody else.
Boom.
Oh,
That's how I would feel.
The second one, right?
Yeah. I'd almost be more inclined to go hunting if I could just go, all right, and then you guys just deal with that thing, and I'll just tell everyone about how I shot this elk or whatever.
So I don't know that that's the, like, I get what you're saying.
That might be, that perspective might be the more common one out there.
That's what I'm thinking.
Yeah.
That's what I'm
Unfortunately, right? Because it's like you want people to want to, harvest their stuff and or donate it. But like I said, I've seen several videos where it's just like they just happen upon a dead deer or elk that just got shot. Now, if it ran away and they couldn't find it, that's a whole other story. But I'm sure, like I said,
plenty of
the
times.
former happens. Yeah,
sure.
Which I'd be fine with, as long as somebody does something with it. Because I don't want to see someone just shoot an animal and then it just it lay there, nothing happened to it. That feels very wrong to me.
Yep.
I think I'm not like, I don't know. You can get into
morality,
where you fit politically and like the we need to save the earth type of deal.
Right.
And I'm not overly crazy on that, but I think we're called and supposed to be good stewards of what we've been given.
Sure.
And if you just shoot an animal and you just don't do anything with it, it's a waste.
What if he
It's
really
just,
likes scavengers? He's just helping out the little guy that can't fend for himself.
Nobody likes coyotes. Coyotes.
Yeah.
Talk to me about coyotes.
Perfect segue.
Yeah.
So, coyotes, whatever you want to call them.
Uh-huh.
I heard that it is not beneficial to go coyote hunting to reduce populations.
Yes, that's accurate.
So, okay. So I'm not blowing your mind with this.
Nope. When they hear that there's less of them, because they do that howling every night, when they hear there's less of them, it kicks the females right back into heat.
And their litters are bigger.
Interesting.
Yep.
That I want to see like a scientific study that actually proves.
Oh,
that.
no, I think that's been done.
I don't disbelieve it, but I don't know. I'm like, I want to know more about that.
Yeah, when they get put under more pressure, the female litters get bigger. And when they know they've lost a member of their pack, they'll like kick back into.
I think he
into
means
heat.
like there's like a chemical probably released, right? And then it travels somewhere. Then is that what you're asking though? Like specifics, like down to that level?
Yeah. And then also, can you, because basically coyotes are like one of the only animals that we've tried to exterminate and we like can't.
Right.
And the problem's gotten worse. So what if
wild pigs?
Oh, yeah, that's true. So my idea is we start doing a more aggressive coyote hunt program. And everyone has tornado sirens. At night, start blaring coyote calls on tornado sirens. So they don't think that it's actually going down. They think there's more. And then they're like, I don't need to have more coyotes. I don't need to have babies.
That's in
Their litters go down and number in the litter go down.
So then it all comes down to is can they actually recognize each other's calls?
Uh-huh. Because if that is legit, then this is how we exterminate coyotes.
Does anybody want to hear the tornado sirens going all night with coyote calls though?
Well, don't blare them at 150 decibels. I mean, run them at a sound that actually is reasonable and
Right.
sounds like a coyote call. No one will know the difference.
It's an interesting idea. I never thought of that. Probably just poison them is the best way to go.
That would work
Yeah.
well too.
No, it actually causes other problems. But yeah, no, we're in a big trouble with coyotes, with wild pigs. So I'm glad to see we're doing things like reintroducing grizzly bears into populated areas and wolves. These are good ideas we're having, obviously. I mean, I obviously love grizzly bears, but I don't think reintroducing them into populated areas is a recipe for success.
Yeah, because we have urbanized so many places, you're going to end up having less wildlife, and that's probably an unpopular opinion with some people because there are people that I don't know what to call it. We're connected with that have opinions on that with a certain type of animal. I don't know if we should discuss all this or not, so I'm trying to be vague.
Yeah.
But we told them like, hey, we don't support this.
Yes.
We can't.
We
can't do this.
If our name is on anything advertising that you do with that is a big deal.
Yeah.
Like that will cause a major problem for us. So, there's obviously way more ways to look at all this. I know I'm not right on this because I don't think there is a right solution. It's just what I happen to. I've become way more accepting of other people's opinions on stuff in the last, I don't know, couple months. I all of a sudden just realized like, wait, no, they're just looking at it differently than I am. Like that's all it is. Like they're not stupid. They just have a different thought than I do. I don't know why Patrick's finding this so amusing.
You're just like, it just sounds like you're just like an alien. Like, no, they communicate, they talk, they listen, and then they might change their original thought pattern, and then they communicate that, and then they receive that. It just sounded very robotic in a weird.
Okay,
funny to me.
Other people can be people too.
Yes,
and
I'm not the only person. It's amazing.
Because it's why maybe they're not evil. I'm just. No, I love how once you never went like maybe I was looking at them crazy.
No, definitely not that. We haven't made that much progress. Let's all calm down here. All right. Wild animal numbers are totally out of control. This is from New Zealand. Reason I'm bringing this up is because I think at least I know from going there, hunting is not only is it not part of their culture, but it's actively looked down on and against, especially on the North Island. South Island might be a little bit different because that's way more rural. But they are having a huge problem with deer, goats, wallabies, and there was something else I can't remember. Deer and goats, no problem hunting. Not sure I could go hunt a wallaby.
What's a wallaby?
It's a small kangaroo, and they are adorable. I mean, they are adorable. Like it would be like hunting a chinchilla.
Yeah, but kangaroos are kind of punks, though, right?
Kangaroos are punks, yeah. But a wallaby is a small kangaroo. A small kangaroo is cute.
Punk is what it sounds.
Well, have you ever seen the big red kangaroos? Like their chest muscles?
Well, probably. Yeah, those things are.
My God.
Jacked.
They look like bodybuilders.
Really?
It is
Yeah.
unreal. Like you think of this kangaroo as like, this slim thing. No, they have like bulging chest muscles and biceps.
I thought they wore hoodies and glasses and hung out with Anthony Anderson and stuff like that, but
he lost me.
that's the movie Kangaroo Jack.
Never saw it. I was too old for that.
Yeah. Oh yeah. If I was 13 watching it, it's like John's heard of it, but he goes,
but never
quickly went, I would never watch that.
I was sure you were you were going to go look at an image of a jacked kangaroo.
No.
Oh, okay. But anyways, they are talking to their governments now about trying to spend more money more wisely. One of the things I really liked about it was they are not only interested in spending more money, but also tracking how the money that they already are spending is actually being spent. Because that's obviously here's $140 million to reduce the deer population. All right, I'll take $20 million of that to do a study, and it's, nobody does anything.
Yeah.
Oh, turns out there are more. So, all right, moving on. Chicken prices hit record highs under Biden administration as U.S. inflation keeps beef and pork out of reach. Inflation is just inflation. This is from Fox News, so of course they're going to call out Biden. But U.S. facilities that hatch chicken eggs placed about 2.8% fewer eggs in incubators in the 6 weeks ending on September 23rd compared to a year earlier, according to U.S. government data. During the same period in 2022, hatcheries set 3.6 more eggs in incubators to account for a surge of demand. So my question is there, I know chicken is not going down in demand. This will be the first year ever in American history that the average American will eat more than 100 pounds of chicken a year. So it's not that demand is going down.
Dude,
so why are we putting less eggs in an incubator? What is the purpose behind that?
If we're putting less, or the chicken's just getting bigger?
Well, that is for a fact, yeah.
Yeah, it could be partly that, like, our beef herd is smaller than it was in the 60s, but we get more beef because our beef is bigger. Like that type of thing. Could be.
Yeah. I don't know for sure.
There's less people maybe doing startups for potential, because it's regulated such a way it's harder to get new farmers.
Do you guys remember when we have those, all the fires at the poultry plants?
No.
I think he's saying yes, he does, even though he's saying it weird.
No.
I don't know. Maybe that has something to do with it. Like there's less growers of poultry? Because there were two. There's one in Connecticut and there's one in, I can't remember where, North Carolina. And they were really big processors. So maybe there's just less like people wanting multiple, like huge amounts of chicken. Like actual chickens.
To be honest, I don't have any idea.
Also, can we talk about why is like the term chicken for somebody who's like scared and cowardly? Like hens or roosters, like if a hawk comes, the rooster will go run at the hawk knowing it's going to die to give the hens time to escape. And it's not a cowardly animal. So I wonder how chicken became like a slang for somebody who's cowardly or won't stand up for themselves.
I don't know. I'm trying to figure out how that would kind of fit in, and I don't know.
We will have to look that one up, and we will get back to everybody. But yeah, so if you eat a lot of chicken, your chicken's going to go up in price for the next couple of years.
Why do people keep eating more chicken though, and like less pork if like chicken prices are going up? And like I feel like pork prices were up, pork prices have been coming more down. Like if I have a choice, I'm gonna go like pork over chicken usually, and then I'm gonna go beef over both of them. Like, are other people backwards? Are they just people like chicken more?
I like chicken more than I like pork.
What's wrong with you?
I fully realize that that's the wrong opinion to have here. But I think if you went out just into the regular world, more people would say I like chicken more than I like pork.
People not eating pork properly? Like I'm not talking like 95% lean pork, because 95% lean pork is not good.
Right.
I'm saying pork is like 70-30. So it's going to be fatty and it is going to be delicious.
I've been doing this thing recently where I take bacon and I take sirloin and I slice up the sirloin pretty thin, like, maybe half-inch thick. I just cook the bacon and the sirloin together in a cast iron pot. Put in a little bit of soy sauce, a little bit of rice wine vinegar, and some black peppercorns and a little bit of salt. I've had it 5 of the last 7 nights that I've been home.
What? Can you repeat that? I was putting some garbage away.
So all I do is I take some like sirloin and then I take some bacon, and cheap bacon is totally fine for it. The fattier, the better kind of. I chop the bacon up and then I cut the sirloin into strips about a 1/2 inch thick, maybe a 1/4 inch thick, closer. I put that into a cast iron pan with a splash of soy sauce, a splash of rice wine vinegar, and some salt and pepper. And it is amazing.
Interesting.
So good.
It could be good.
He doesn't
Didn't
want
put
the soy sauce.
or
It's a
rice
splash.
wine vinegar.
What's
Yeah.
it? So what's? I mean, it doesn't end up tasting like soy sauce, does it?
No.
Then why is it
not at all.
even?
It's because it's got an umami flavor.
Mm.
Like soy sauce is designed to increase the umami flavor and things.
You just
No.
eat that by itself.
Austin just wants everything to taste like cheese and salt.
Hey.
That's all he
I'd
wants.
be okay with that. So last night at dinner, we went out with Jenny's dad, and we got pretzels for an appetizer. We had leftover queso. I was like, "Thank you."
Yep,
I
that'll
took
work.
the queso,
That'll
and
work.
I had pizza, and then I had queso and pizza.
Oh yeah.
Like it's a cheese.
Those hot pretzels in any type of cheese dip is.
You don't think it's going to be good,
Otherworldly.
and then you go,
Oh,
"Oh my
so
god,
good.
hold on."
I still
What is
remember the
that?
first time I had it. I was at a bar in New York,
Oh,
and they
dude.
had Bavarian pretzels on.
Yeah.
And
I almost
was like,
laughed.
"Ooh, I haven't had one of those in a while."
I go, "What are these?"
So they brought it out, and they had little dishes of melted cheese. I was like, "I'm not dipping that." And the waitress or somebody overheard me. They're like, "Do it." So I just took it, dipped some in, and I was like, "Oh my god, it's life changing."
Bacardi and cola. Do
And
it.
Angel came down and was like, "That is the food." I had a real interesting. Maybe this isn't the right. I had a real interesting conversation. It was quick with a girl at Zubilee. So we are always right next to this donut place. Actually, we're right between two donut places. And every year, this one place makes a. Oh God, what is it?
One of them's called the Sugar Shack. I
Yeah.
believe.
But what's the donut that I love? I went and got multiple plates of it.
It was like a streusel.
Streusel.
Yep.
The streusel with this stuff on top. It's almost like a yeasty whatever. And I had a real interesting conversation with her about whether or not that, because I said, I love these. I look forward to this every year. She's like, I call it manna. And I was like,
Huh.
Like from the Bible? And she's like, yes. I'm like, that's incredibly interesting and possible.
I don't
So,
understand.
yeah, don't worry about it. We'd have to go too deep.
Oh,
All right. Where are we?
you know, in
10 minutes left. We're going to run through some of these. Go ahead.
in video games, especially early '90s, they would refer to mana
Yeah.
as like the magic meter.
Yep.
And then strength would be.
This is not that.
Well, could have been.
But it's not.
Well, no, we don't know.
The Herd Rebuilding Challenge. This is from farmprogress.com. By 2025, beef production is forecast to be down 15 to 16% from the 2022 level. This will be the lowest level since 2015 and possibly the lowest since 1993. Herd rebuilding will be needed and encouraged by the market. But there's a problem with herd rebuilding. Obviously, we're going to have to keep some heifers back, right? The only way you're going to get more cows is by slaughtering less females. So with increased drought and the cost of feed continuing to be high, I don't know how or when this is going to start recovering, but they said at best 2024 will be a hold the line year, and we'd be looking past that for a chance at actually rebuilding. So it won't be 2023, and they said 2024 is just like a maybe we can stop losing.
I hope I'm wrong, but I feel like a 15% decline is a little too doomsday. Like surely it can't be that bad. It's really gonna be that bad? I don't think it's gonna be that bad.
I really
Because
hope it's not.
if it goes down that much, like we're gonna see prices go up, like 100%. You can see it's not a 1-for-1 relationship.
No.
It's a inverted logarithmic scale, basically something like that, where it's like it starts out and then all of a sudden, boom.
I don't know
Jumps.
what I'll do.
It could be nuts. I don't know. Not looking forward to it. I'm just gonna
I could be
pretend
a
that
cat.
everything is sunshine and rainbows and that it's gonna be okay. That's what I just have replaying in my head.
Sure. That's a good strategy for long-term success.
Yeah, it is.
Okay. Smithfield to close North Carolina pork plant. The company says the move is to increase efficiency and better utilize existing capacity, and comes as the company faces abundant supplies and soft demand weighing on pork prices. The company will provide financial and other transitional assistance to the 107 employees affected by this closure, and will meet with employees to discuss options, including transfer to other Smithfield locations. What's interesting is that's from their website, but other titles to articles I said all said it was because pork prices are plunging. So prices are down, so demand for it is down.
Pork prices plunging.
That's not bad.
The initial thing I think of when I see this article is just that like we're just making everything ripe for another huge failure if we have another COVID type situation. Like if we're going to condense and move production from some of the big plants to just more but fewer big plants, it's just going to make things worse if we ever have a problem in the whole meat production again. It's not going to be pretty.
Have you ever seen the movie Pootie Tang?
Oh, man.
No.
All-time classic. Louis C.K. directed it.
You should. The bad guys are worth... Like, that's sometimes what I think of as the big four, as the villain from Pootie Tang. Sarate. All right. U.S. involved in network dealing with game meat safety. The aim is to promote the exchange of knowledge on the health risks for consumers of game meat obtained through hunting. Such meats include red deer, wild boar, or pheasant. We aim to make this valuable animal-derived food as safe as possible in Europe and worldwide. We aim to minimize chemical and microbial risks as much as possible. Until the end of September 2027, 5 working groups will focus on hunting and processing game meat trade networks, the supply chain, and various biological and chemical hazards. The network will collaborate with stakeholder groups to translate knowledge into actions along the production chain from forest to fork. So first of all, it's a very derivative name, from forest to fork, from farm to table. Like, it's very derivative. Second of all, this is all going to be done under some German council. And I don't like the idea of any of these governments having any input on like what people do with their wild game. Because as soon as they get their hooks into that, you're going to start having more regulations.
Yeah, it depends. Are they going to try to regulate what individual people are doing, or are they going to put out guides and suggestions? Like to be honest, like relating it to like US and our environment and stuff. You have USDA and FSIS. They require, like under commercial production, people follow like Appendix A. Appendix A, it's great. They got all kinds of guides and information in that. They don't make you as an individual abide by that. But do I personally use it and love the information that comes out of it? Yeah, because I know I'm cooking at home. Like I don't have to cook this up to like a certain temp to be done. I can cook at a lower temp and just be there for a longer period, and I'm good to eat, and I'm safe, and I'm not going to kill my son when I give him a rare steak.
That's fine. But just the beginning of their hooks into that is what I'm concerned about.
Yeah. Dangerous stepping stone.
It is.
Yeah.
Real quick, former La Barbecue, it's not LA, it's La Barbecue employee, suing restaurant after losing fingers in a meat grinder. There's nothing to talk about here. You don't even need to pull up the article other than this is a really good reminder. Those things are dangerous, especially commercial ones. You cannot stick your hands down that throat. That's why most of them nowadays, it's not physically possible to get your hand down there.
The throats are made small.
If that auger gets your hand, goodbye. You are not stopping it. Nothing ever taught me that as much as the time we had the tenderizer hooked up. Not ours, it was the old one. And I tried to push down a piece with the tongs, and those tongs took it. It grabbed it. And I was like, oh, I can get this back.
Metal tongs.
Yeah, they were metal.
Yeah. No. I'm just letting you know. It's strong, dude.
Oh, yeah. There was no,
he gave it a good, like, I'll just yank it back. And he did what? And he let go. He said,
I was like, nope. Because there was no chance of me winning that fight. And I was sure, like, as soon as it grabbed, I was like, oh, I got this. I'll pull it back. And I was like, nope.
Getting your fingers and hands torn off is definitely a very painful thing. And I know this because I just watched a movie that I didn't know existed until like a week ago, and I was very disappointed because I'm a huge fan of what the series, it came from a series, Spiral. Have you seen?
Oh,
yeah.
You never seen that?
Saw movie. Didn't know it was a Saw movie. Didn't know.
No, Chris Rock. It's other than the first one, it's the best one, I'd say.
It was good. But in there, that one of the torture things was
Oh yeah,
individually pulling off some guy's fingers, and they made it look painful.
I'm sure
It looked fantastic.
I'd be like, I'd rather die, dude. Just
no, thank you.
Say we didn't. No.
All right, moving on to what we're calling Wild Card. That is very much inspired by Charlie from All Things.
I really want to
Always Sunny in Philadelphia.
scream like Charlie, and but
did you see the one where he jumped out of the back of the van because they
That's
thought
what it is. Yeah.
Oh, was that episode?
That's that episode.
I thought that episode came much later
because they kept playing their roles or whatever. They might have established their roles, but then he goes, "I'm a wild card," of course, and then he jumped out.
The brakes again.
Yeah,
wild card. He jumps out and they go.
I'm telling you, I might just repitch that and use that as the sound.
But they'd already fixed the brakes. Yeah, that's what it was. Yeah. So they let him think that he had cut the brakes, so he'd jump out.
Was that the gas episode?
Yes.
That was the gas episode. Yes. We get in trouble when we don't stick to our roles. All right. The first is they found a dog-fox hybrid, and it points to a growing risk to wild animals of domestic species. My thought on this article is that scientists are dumb. I could have told you that a fox and a dog could mate when I was 5. Right? They look like the same thing. They can.
Well, the movie The Fox and the Hound. Right?
They might not be able to produce offspring that can mate, but like a white bass and a sea bass can mate. They cannot produce offspring that can then reproduce.
Wild.
What do you call a white bass and a sea bass then?
Am I saying is it a striped bass and a sea? No, striped bass is a sea bass. I don't know. Mm-hmm. There's a term for it.
I'm just trying.
I might be wrong.
I'm trying to put names together in my head to figure out what you call it.
I might be wrong there, but there's a sea bass and a bass that mate, and maybe you get a white bass.
Oh, is this like how a donkey and a horse make a mule?
Striper and a it's a striper and a white bass, and they call it a wiper.
Oh yeah. Okay.
Yeah.
Yep.
Wild.
So
what's I mean, is there any other animals that come to mind, or it's just like what are they?
Wolves and coyotes.
How do you get a red panda?
That's actually
is that just its own animal?
No, that's actually a
genetic
raccoon.
Is it?
Yep.
Interesting.
Do you know Japan is overrun with raccoons? Do you know they're not native to raccoons? After World War II, there was a comic book, and one of the characters is a raccoon, and they fell in love with raccoons, so they imported a bunch of them. And now Japan is like overrun with raccoons.
That's horrible.
Raccoons are adorable, man. I would love to have a raccoon.
What if you
They're adorable.
Redo Teenage Mutant Ninja Turtles with raccoons set it in Japan, and boom, we got a competitor.
Oh,
right?
You need to get on that. Yeah. All right. Is meat called meat because me eat? This is just something I thought of earlier today.
Could be.
Right? Couldn't it be? Me eat.
Yeah.
Meat.
Yeah, leaf. What's leaf?
Leave alone. It's a leaf. I don't want it.
You'd probably have to go back to a language earlier than English and see was it still something like meat, and how did that apply? Because English, I don't know.
I like mine better.
Go back to like Hebrew or something. What is meat in Hebrew, or something from the Middle East? Look up what meat is in different languages there.
It's probably it's probably single syllable, like you're saying, very barbaric sound, like that they were capable of making with whatever structure their jaw and mouth was and stuff like that. So
we don't have anything older than what's the oldest Sumerian?
Well, I don't know. They just found some footprints somewhere that
I saw anything,
that. So we don't
New Mexico,
know anything.
Saying there was people here like 200.
They're just bringing everything back to the U.S. You know what I mean? Like before, it's like we didn't have like cool dinosaur fossils. Now it's just like, hey, check out what we can find when stuff starts melting. So I don't know. It's an evolution of coolness, I guess. But we're bringing it back. Humans started in the U.S., baby.
All right. There is a picture of a grizzly bear chasing after a guy on a motorcycle, or not a motorcycle, bicycle.
It's just a bicycle? I thought it was a little dirt bike.
Maybe it is.
That's probably a bicycle. That's actually, that's
it
not
says
big
cyclist. It doesn't say.
That's a bicycle.
Yeah. It was chasing bighorn sheep, and then it saw a guy riding by on his bike, and it started jetting at him.
Oh, jeez.
No, thank you.
I don't think you can drive or ride a bike fast enough to get away from it.
Have you ever heard of a gun called a high point?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah.
There is a 10 millimeter high point on Sporting South for like $160. It is the ugliest gun I've ever seen. I really think I'm going to buy one. Just so I can have a 10
once you start to
millimeter.
get a little bit of a collection, it's easier to pull the trigger on something like that. No pun intended.
Yeah, no, I get you.
Because it's just like, well, now I have
Now I
this,
need that.
Yeah, now, well, not need, but I don't have something
Right,
that
don't have
could
a 10
even represent that. Yeah.
I don't know how many shots this one would survive, but if I'm going into bear country, it'd be nice to have a 10 millimeter, even if it's an inexpensive one.
For sure.
From the high points that I've seen before, they're basically just a heavy brick.
Yeah.
And so I think they're big and bulky enough. I think they're gonna shoot fine.
Yeah.
They're just
And it's heavy enough I could hit the bear with
Yeah.
it if I run out of.
Yeah, what was Austin Powers' gun? What did he use? That little tiny thing like that. Do you remember what
I don't
one
know
he had?
if they ever called it anything.
Well, I mean,
it's small enough that it could have been.
I mean, it is a gun. I just didn't know if you knew the make and model.
No.
Well,
Walter PPK, just because that's what James
and
Bond
then I
used.
think she pulled out a Desert Eagle, and he looked at his and goes like, it's not always the size or the caliber.
All right. I lost so much blood after a tiger shark bit off my leg that doctors said I should have died. Now I shoot sharks, ... with my camera. That should have ended before the ellipsis.
Dude,
I want a good story of revenge of man against animal.
I'd be a serial
Like-
murderer of sharks if one bit my leg off. I would take before and after pictures of that death.
That's all I do.
I'd go, oh, hey, buddy, here's a before.
Yep.
There's you dead.
Now you're dead.
And I'd make a whole art gallery out of it. And I'd, like you said, call it Revenge, Jaws 7.
What made Ahab
My left
obsessed
leg.
with Moby Dick? Does anyone remember?
did
Was
he
he
just
just-
White whale.
lose his limb? Didn't he get? I thought he got his
I think
hand
you're
or arm
thinking
bitten
of
off.
Captain Hook.
No,
Peter Pan. He's thinking of
He's thinking of Peter Pan and the
Blackbeard or
crocodile.
something.
I can't remember. I've read that book.
So he
in,
was just. Well, I
seventh
mean,
grade, eighth grade.
I haven't dove into that one.
But that's a good revenge story.
For sure.
Nope, you wronged me. Now you die.
Did he get wronged, or did he just have a fascination with finding it? Like,
I thought he just became obsessed with it.
yeah. So, are we just supposed to take that and translate that to our lives with obsession, or
I think so. I think that's the
Yeah.
point. Of
I
it,
would
is the
miss main
danger of
points.
obsession.
so
I
hard.
am correct.
He's correct. Okay.
Correct.
Right.
It
So-
wasn't an arm or wasn't a hand.
What was it?
It was his leg.
Okay.
The whale.
So
took his
even
leg?
closer to this shark
So
story.
He now has a prosthetic
Well, he-
leg made out of whalebone.
I mean, he now.
Okay.
has
Yeah, I
a
wouldn't say he
prosthetic.
now. He did.
Well, it says I'm just reading Wikipedia.
Okay.
It's in the present tense.
So we've got Captain Ahab. We've got Quinn from Jaws. Are those the two who were just like, nope, you wronged me. Now I'm going to kill you all.
Yeah. Is that
Heroes.
are we only doing shark movies?
I'm just rethinking of both of those movies now, and I've changed who the hero is in my mind. But anyways, he has tips. Says never go into murky water and splash around. If you see one, make sure it sees you and knows you see, or make sure it knows you see it.
What?
Maintain eye contact. They're ambush predators. So
I
that
see
makes
you.
sense.
How about if you see one, get out of the
Right, yeah,
freaking
that's
water?
important.
Hey,
But-
I'd put my mouth under. I see.
I see all of these ones now of tiger sharks coming at people and them grabbing them by the nose and redirecting them. So the tiger shark will come up because the tiger shark's like a garbage, it'll eat anything. So they don't really attack all that hard a
Trash.
lot. So you can kind of redirect them and people grab them by the nose and push them around. So, I mean, there is some good luck trying that with a great white if it's coming at you though.
Yeah.
Pay attention to their body language. Dropped pectorals and an arched back means it's ready to attack.
Oh my god.
And they've known that for a long time.
What do we talk? I mean,
But yes, you are.
That-
Everyone's
I'm-
correct. Out of the water is immediate,
I'm just reading
or
that, none
just
of that
inhale
helped me.
water because
Die.
right, just die. All right, this is a funny picture. Somebody spray painted "pet" on the side of a deer, and also has a collar on it. And Missouri Department of Wildlife and Conservation wants you to know that that's illegal. You cannot do that. Well, you can't keep a wild animal as a pet.
Why not?
What's a wild animal?
You're not allowed to keep lots of wild animals as pets.
What was this animal? you
It's
said?
not a dangerous animal.
Was that
like
livestock? What was it?
No, wild animal. This was a deer.
Oh, okay.
I mean, you could make an argument that deer are. Have you ever seen them when they're in the rut and they attack people?
I don't know. If it's native to the area, why can't you have it? Now, I think it's stupid. Somebody in Andover a few months ago got busted with a massive python. Bad plan. Pythons are not native to Kansas. You should not have a python here. But a deer? Come on. What's that hurting?
All right, but just don't complain if your deer gets out and I kill it.
Oh yeah, I mean I agree. If it gets out, fair game.
Yeah.
I would argue I'm on the side of I have if I had a problem with an animal that was on my property and I knew it was my neighbor's dog, I'd still shoot my neighbor's dog and be fine with it. Like it had to be a wild animal. It's on your property and it's a nuisance.
All right, what are we talking about for a nuisance? Is it like peeing on your rose bushes, or is it like
causing like damage of some sort? Knocking over the trash can and spreading trash everywhere, eating through your siding or door.
Okay, now
doing something that's causing damage.
Your last one is more reasonable.
Yeah, but
trash that's still damage.
No, but hold on.
It's not damage bad enough to kill your
Imagine you kill
dog.
John's dog and he's sitting there crying, holding the dog. You go, well, he was eating my trash.
Yes.
Yeah. Well,
okay, let me tell you how that actually ends.
Yeah,
and it's not going to end
everyone goes
in a good
down.
way.
Everyone's going down.
If you kill my dog, if my dog was charging somebody, attacking them, 100%, I get it. I've thought of it before. I'm like, Brutus has come down the driveway at someone, he shoots them. Like, I get that. If my dog's in your yard and it's eating your garbage and you shoot my dog, you're going to have a really big problem on your hand. I'm burning your house down.
Bring it.
Legally, that'd be a tough.
We talked about buying 40 acres and buying that central, like, whatever. I don't want to live near you now. We're not doing that.
This is the bet. You get the, if K-State wins, you get to shoot his dog.
It wouldn't be like a one-time first occurrence type of thing. It'd be like, hey, your dog's doing this. Take care of your dog. Dog gets out again and is jacking with something. To be honest, even if the dog was just jacking with my kids,
no.
Like it's like it doesn't matter. It's
garbage.
Like not even doing any harm, not hurting anything, just over harassing kids.
No, that's the only reason. If if it's running,
fine.
snipping at kids,
if the 100%.
lead with that.
If the dog is in any way, shape, or form
doing anything that's hurting anything, they're
hanging out with it. Like the dog is just chilling there, and your kids are chilling there, and you go out and shoot the dog. Your kids are gonna hate you.
You don't have permission to be here. Who let you here?
Well, you need to rethink this.
I think.
What kind of dog is it? What if it's like a poodle? Right? It's like a tiny little.
If you can't keep your pets contained and they cause harm of any sort, even like the trash example, it may not be totally monetary, but it's going to take me time to go pick up all the trash. I value my time probably more than I value money.
The life of the dog.
He definitely values
the dog in that scenario. Like dog's gone. If it's like if it happened and I told you like, hey, your dog's doing this, and it does it again, I'm like, hey, your dog's doing this.
Right.
That's it. Next time.
So you get 2,
gone.
And then you're gonna kill the dog.
3 strikes, you're
I
out,
can
bro.
almost guarantee you, Austin wouldn't have the heart to pull a trigger on a dog for eating garbage.
I might get my zombie sword out.
All right. Last one of the day. Somebody broke the state record of Texas for the largest alligator gar caught on 6-pound line. Right. So we all know what 6-pound test is, right?
Oh, for
283-pound fish on 6-pound line.
How long did you have to fight that thing?
Just imagine the first time.
A whole lot of tension on
ever.
it.
Imagine the first time he got a look at it. Like the first time even just that tail came up, he must have gone, oh, and just lowered the drag all the way. And they're like, okay, well, this is going to take forever.
I would have been terrified.
And he must have had an amazing hook set on it. Because those alligator gars' mouths are like, they're hard.
Mm-hmm.
So pretty amazing.
So you're terrified of the sea and sharks, but like you like fishing and stuff like that?
Yeah.
Like you would fish on the ocean? Or
I've gone ocean
just more
fishing.
Like, I mean, but like, which do you prefer? Like perfect setting.
Oh, I don't. I'd way rather fish a pond, stream, lake. Not because I'm afraid of.
Is that just the type of fish?
It's
you
the
like?
type. Well, it's not even the type of fish. It's the type of fishing.
Mm.
Like on the ocean, you're trolling.
Yeah,
and that's fun, but I don't see it as fishing really.
Sure,
it's different.
Yeah,
or you're fly fishing.
I would be terrified
on flats, and I don't like fly fishing.
I'd be absolutely, dude.
Mostly because I'm bad at it.
I can.
We've lost Austin. He's looking at tickets.
But then, like, look. Sorry, it's like we're out of time.
I have to like approve tickets, and an urgent one came through. So
okay,
I'm like
jumping in a lake or whatever. Like, I no problem. But like at the back of my mind, I was like, dude, if I get swallowed by some lake monster, I'm gonna be so mad at myself because I knew it. Like I called it. This is what happens.
There are catfish in some lake that are big enough to drag you, like take you down.
Oh yeah,
no problem.
There's catfish that could eat small children.
Sure.
Like,
oh yeah,
the goonch in India. That was his best episode. So that show River Monsters is one of the best examples of everything ends, because the show was super successful, and eventually he's like, I've caught everything. He's like, every freshwater like monster, he's like, I've caught it. There's nothing left for me to do. I love
Well, he can find like hybrids or odd creatures.
Yeah, it's not as much fun.
You could do a Halloween special. We could do fishing on a frozen pond.
And he
for
didn't want to
Christmas.
do that.
Yeah.
He didn't want to make it hokey. So he's like, I'm out.
Oh yeah, dude, that's the
Awesome.
only way you make those shows. Wow.
All right. Speaking of being out, we'll see you guys next time.
Thanks, guys.
Thanks for checking out the Meatgistics podcast. To shop everything but the meat, head on over to waltons.com. To get your meat processing questions answered by experts and enthusiasts alike, head on over to our online community at meatgistics.com. Waltons, everything but the meat.